Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm showing you guys the Bitmain cabinet mining. Why I'm referring to it as a cabinet miner, even though it's called an Antrack, is because it looks literally like a cabinet. Thinking of a couple ways you can actually run this thing. Potentially from your garage, if you have three-phase power, you could do that. But it is one way to get started with hydro mining without actually needing a container. So in today's video, I'll be showing you guys around this setup here and potential uses for it, and giving you guys my overall report on this, and just see how much fun we can have with this little guy here. So if you think that's interesting, you know what to do. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, go to cryptollc.org if you're looking to set up a Bitcoin mining farm, Dogecoin farm, Litecoin, any type of Asic, or even GPU mining. We can do all of that at cryptollc.org. Or if you want to get yourself a megawatt in North Dakota, all of that at cryptollc.org. Before we get started, Bitcoin saves your wealth and Jesus Christ saves your soul. So I am at Bitcoin 2025 in Las Vegas. All right, let's get started. So these are basically the S21s, S19 hydros, 21 hydros, S23 hydros. I think you can fit pretty much any of those into this Antrack from Bitmain. Here are the specs for it. 26 kW. See, it's not much, but it is a way to get into hydro without actually getting yourself one of those big containers. So today's video, I'm just going to focus on the fact that you could potentially use this at your in your garage, maybe like a little warehouse next to your business, small business, you know, and those various situations, right? You don't want to set up like a giant container, you want to just put one of these. So the benefits of this is that you can run hydro. So this is one of the benefits here, right? Not air, hydro. I do not know how loud it is, by the way, with the fans, because yes, it's hydro, but you still got to cool off the liquid, right? So you got these fans on the back. Potentially, maybe it's a lot quieter than just running straight air miners. I do not know, but it could work. But so here you have your cold liquids coming in, your hot, right, coming out, going through the radiator on the back, being cooled off with the fans. Very, very similar to how an automobile works, right? How your radiator works in a car, cooling off your engine. You got your pump over there. You got your, what's this called? A heat exchange right here. And you can connect, as far as I know, more than one of these together, and just run it through the whole cycle here. And again, you're only at 26 kW. Very, very small amount. So 26 kW is 26,000 watts. So not much. You got your breakers on top there. Breakers. Then you have, let me show you guys a miner here. By the way, they released their new S23 hydro right over here. So here's your miner here, and you can see this is the intake coming in, cold, goes to the PSU first, comes out, gets a little bit warm from the PSU being cooled off, goes into the block over here. Here's your three hash boards, 1, 2, 3, circles around, comes out hot here, and goes into the radiator. So that's how that works. Now let me give you guys an overview on the quality build of it. And how I check quality build is I just take a look at the fittings, the pipes, you know, how it's set up, the actual metal, the paint.
Oh, that is so good.
You know, and so on, and give you an idea of how it feels. Because a lot of times you can tell if something is of higher quality by the way it's designed, by how it feels, and it feels pretty good. It doesn't feel cheap. You know, the metal is decent. Inside, the paint quality is good, right? Interior, exterior.
You can actually, I mean, it's probably not good, but you could run somebody else.
This right here, it's probably, let me take a look at
I
it.
mean, you could, right?
Okay, it's probably displaying like your KWs, probably your voltages. Got your emergency button here.
I got it.
And then in terms of the racks,
okay, hey, listen.
again, pretty decent quality and so forth. The only thing I would say, which is I would consider a pretty big minus, is that this is the Bitmain Hydro setup. So it has these pipes, which are like, you know, they're not like great quality. So this is a different design, right? And I do prefer the server design that a lot of the other miners are making. That is on servers, so it's like a rack. You put in a server, you put another server. It's just like a data center for like AI data centers. They have servers that you unplug and plug back in, right? This is not like that. This is a Hydro setup from Bitmain. So it is more gimmicky and kind of flimsy and not like super professional. And they were the first ones to create like a Hydro as far as I know. So I do give them credit for that, for being the first ones to really create it, but it's not like that, so it's different. So like if I had a choice in going with this or going with servers, I'd rather go with server style than one of these. So this is different. This is if you went out and got the Hydro miners from Bitmain, and you know you want to do deployment in a cabinet like this. But yeah, so this is kind of overview of everything. Let's see if I can show you something else here. You can see that big old radiator all the way down. Again, a lot of the specs we don't know, like what is the maximum ambient temperature that it can support in terms of keeping the miners cool at a great efficiency. You know, is this radiator sufficient enough to keep the miners cool at 80 degrees ambient outside temperatures, right? Or is it 70 or is it 90? What can it do, right? It all depends on the radiator and the pumps and the fans. As once it's fully loaded, how much can it handle? That information I do not know, and that's something that even if they tell you, hey, you can do this, you have to really run it and see, can it actually handle that, right? We don't know. I wonder if these cabinets are rated for outside usage. Probably not. I don't think so. But it is kind of nice that you can have this out, you know, you can kind of maybe like stick this part outside of your, say, warehouse and have these just blow the hot air away from the radiators directly outside. And since there is really no intake other than the fans spinning on the opposite side of this radiator, that's your intake. Your intake's about right here, or being sucked through the radiator. So there is that unknown, right? That you have to really get one of these, run it, and see if it works out for you. But anyway, so that's today's video. So my final thoughts on this is it's a pretty decent build. It's a pretty quality build. And if you have these Hydro miners here that you wanted to deploy in a cabinet like this, it is possible for you to do that and get it going. So let me see how many miners, by the way, is this going to be? What, 2, 4, 6, 8 of them, I think. With miners. There's your specs, by the way. You get a little closer there so you guys can see. Standard voltages, and everything's really standard here. Your weights, ambient temperature, so C35C right there. That's what they state, but can you maybe increase the pump speed? Can you increase the fans? What if you add more? You know, potentially you could go over here on this side, by the way. One thing to keep in mind, you could go over here and add more fans if you wanted to kind of rig it up a little bit. Maybe add a couple of more, like 2 more fans over there, 2 more fans over here, 2 more fans over there, like smaller fans. I don't know why they just have this thing fully loaded with fans. I would have added more fans here just so I can pick that up from 35 up to maybe 40 C on the ambient. That would help out a lot. But yeah, overall not a bad build. Looks pretty decent, looks pretty good. So if you're looking to run yourself a little farm in your garage and you have 3-phase power, by the way, you need 3-phase power. This is not going to work on 2-phase. As far as I know, it does not work. The power connector, let me show you, the power connector is a 3-phase power connector right here. See that? So as far as I know, I never ran any 3-phase miners, but it looks like that is what you need. So you got to check your panel in your garage if you want to run this from your garage and see if you have 3-phase power coming in. Most homes do not, they have 2-phase. So you got to double check that. But if you're like in a warehouse, you might have 3-phase there. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys like it. You know what to do. Like, subscribe. Until next time. Goodbye.